You're right there, guys. Thank you ever so much for making this time of your day. To you guys at home, whatever time of day it is, it means the world to me when I do videos. And I don't like to bring that much negativity. I just want to say my piece when I talk about professional wrestling. And that's why I do what I do here on YouTube. And obviously bringing my wrestling vlogs on my other channel. But I want to say, when I think of the releases that WWE did just after Mania, didn't surprise me. But then you look at the likes of Carlito, I can understand that predicament they're in. The amount of times I've wanted to see that guy wrestle once again in the WWE. Not as such as what he's been used for, which is kind of suckish. But why bring him back if you're just going to do that with him? You know, I feel like WWE's in a bad place at the moment, and that's just me being honest. Since the likes of TKO, Nick Khan, Triple H, Paul Levesque, whoever was backstage, even Stephanie McMahon, if she claims that she's no longer working with them, even though she's with them, if you know what I mean. I think WWE at the moment is in a really, really, really shocking bad place. And I stress this when I do my reviews, and you can tell the frustration in me how SmackDown was. You can tell how Raw is. You can tell how the PLEs is. This is just me speaking my mind when I literally, in my fandom, how frustrated I am with the company. And it tops it off with the likes of RTruth being released. Now, if this ends up being a work, job well done. You played the IWC massively. And I would say RTruth will go down as a legend. A living legend. To say that he was K-quick in his early days, to go in full potential, that what he could show was in the likes of TNA. Then he came back to the WWE, I think it was 2009. Or was it 2010? I can't remember which. This was before I even started doing YouTube videos. And I literally can't believe they've just done that out of the blue to him today, of all days. And I was saying when I was posting on TikTok that there's not much to talk about on wrestling wise, even though I did wrestling content videos over there. So check me out on TikTok as well. Links are all in the link tree. Anyway, but this one hurts. Because I just want to be honest with you, that with the likes of RTruth, even though I would say WWE had a bad episode of SmackDown this past week, I feel like he was a hidden gracious towards that, and he made fans feel warm about themselves. He made them feel they could laugh when they wanted to laugh. He was naturally funny. None of this forced crap that every time when you look at the prime example when they're plugging a Netflix show, that was forced humour. But with RTruth, he was naturally giftedly funny. And it was old school humour that fans related to for many, many years. Even when he was a heel back in, when he was facing the likes of John Cena in the past. And you thought, when he had his title, going for the title, you literally thought, okay, they've had a change of heart towards RTruth. He would have that WWE Championship, or he'll have that World Championship. You literally thought they finally gave him a title push. I wouldn't mind him as the title holder to take away from the likes of John Cena. And I look at the way he is that super talented to transition into Ron Cena, which even though it was a one-trick pony sort of thing, even though technically we had it still on the likes of SmackDown, and I'm like, this is comedy gold. And he knows how to carry a match. He knows how to make it funny when you need it. The fans love him. The fans love him. He's one of the most respected roster members you've got, and you've literally tarnished that and letting him go. So if I'm saying this in a politer way to the WWE fan base, don't not take this the wrong way. I'm glad he's gone. You know why I'm glad he's gone? Because other companies can thrive with someone like him. You know, if he ends up in AEW and doing what he does with a comedy twist, with his real name, if he's not allowed to take RTruth with him, it's just WWE is sucking the life out of WWE. That what I've loved for many years, and probably a lot of other fans. And you taking away the comedy aspect, that another reason why people tune in, because he's just that gifted, you know, underutilized, unappreciated. He's just been used for a general dog's body that you could have easily gave him a world title and fans would have actually backed him as a world champion or a WWE champion. You know? And if they're going TKO, going all serious and corporate, even though they were already corporate, it's a bad move. You've released one of your top guys that people are talking about right now for numerous of hours since it broke, that he broke it himself. As soon as he broke it himself, it went trending. And it's just insane that you are releasing him from your company. You know, I know wrestlers don't stick around forever, but he's been around forever. If RTruth's confused why the release, are you going to say he's too old? I forget which wrestler said it on their recent release. And it was when Braun Strowman was released, he was costing the company too much money. How is Braun Strowman costing them too much money when they're a billionaire company? You know, you are sucking the life out of WWE that Vince created from buying it from his dad. And you are tarnishing what's the legacy that WWE holds in my heart and numerous of wrestling fans' heart. You are taking RTruth away from that. It's just absolutely criminally insane. You know, it seems like he came across as a yes man. You know, because all he wanted to do is please the fans, put a smile on the face. You know, it's not just myself as an adult, nearly 43, that someone like that could put a smile on my face. It's for the kids that impressed him. The females like him. The teenagers like him. You know, he's a big kid at heart, and that's why he resonated with so many fans of that company. From the little Jimmy sort of stuff, from doing his little jokey stuff with the Judgment Day, to the jokey stuff that he did just only on SmackDown with the likes of JC Mateo. He's that naturally giftedly funny. Like I was saying, that you look at SmackDown, it was a drizzling shit episode compared to how you would expect WWE to be. And then when you look at the bigger picture, you think, okay, he's released from the company. But why? Has he done anything wrong? Has he hurt anyone backstage? Has he disrespected a lot of wrestlers? No, because you literally how much respect people have got for RTruth and how much time he has for the fans. I still can remember the time when he spent 2 hours meeting other people, even in the WWE hotel, just making us naturally laugh. Because he was saying, oh, I'll be good on it, I'm a celebrity, get me out of here. You know, oh, I love that show, I've been watching it whilst I've been here, it's good stuff. I should be on that. And he was doing the split personality thing with little Jimmy because there was kids there as well. That he was doing it because kids were there and he was living and breathing his gimmick, just to please the fans. And you release him? What for? You wonder why you've got people tuning out your product. Why do you think you get bashed for your product? If you are making wrestling serious, good, okay, you make it serious. Okay, fair enough. But you need to get your roster correctly. You can't treat the women right. You can't treat the tag team division right. You can't even treat the mid-card titles right to a point. You can't treat the main titles right. This is what I've been stressing for numerous a week. WWE is in that much of a mess. The only thing that was enjoyable, technically, seeing the likes of RTruth, because he lines up the spirit of the episode. And now you literally tarnish that, throw that all away. What for? Are you thinking he's costing you too much money? I really don't know anymore. The worst thing about it is when John Cena stood there and said in his promo, he's here to destroy wrestling. Is that a subliminal message from TKO themselves and WWE? Turns around and says, okay, we're going to destroy wrestling. Because it seems like that. You are sucking the entertainment away from the entertainment factor. Even though you don't want to be classed as a wrestling company, but you're now sucking the way out of the entertainment. There's so many fans respect him for what he's done. He's had a US title run. I think he's had an IC title run, 24/7 championship. He made that championship worthwhile having. And entertainment value. He's done everything you've asked of him by the looks of it, on screen, possibly off. But you want to throw it all away and release him? This will make people want to tune out and hopefully tune in wherever he goes. And people saying, oh, I hope he goes to TNA. And I'm thinking, I sort of agree with them, but if he goes back to TNA, will he be allowed to use the RTruth name? It's so complicated situation with this. Because I wouldn't mind him in AEW. Bring that comedy factor, that we normally get with certain people, And it's just a bizarre one. It really is a bizarre situation that wrestling fans are in at the moment. I'm sitting in my room doing this. I'm so confused. RTruth himself is confused. It's absolutely crazy to think that he's gone from the company. I know it sounds daft when people brag about, oh yeah, John Cena's been around the company 25 years, this is his retirement tour. We don't think that how long RTruth has technically been in the company, back in the company, and been around for a while. And you just think little kids that have actually watched him as they grow up. Even though, yeah, I expect that from myself when I've been a wrestling fan for nearly 40 years next year. That it's just mental. It is absolutely mental. I can understand Carlito because he won't use that much in the ring, but like I've mentioned earlier on, but I can't understand why with RTruth. I really don't. No, there could have been a lot of potential they could have done with him over the years, but he's always been that yes man, doing the comedy stuff, helping people to try and break characters. Sometimes he's managed it, sometimes he hasn't. He just like his whole wrestling gimmick was a rib, just to rib the wrestlers on camera, and he's made it entertaining. He made it enjoyable when we didn't have good times in WWE. And like in 2025, I feel like that's the same thing. We didn't have that good period in WWE that I would say when it went to 3 hours, but he did so much for the fans to fill in that void, where it helped those 3 hours go by. When he did his little moments of fame, you know, if it's like 5 minutes of fame, as they say, but he did it every episode, week in, week out. And you always look forward to seeing what he was going to do next. I'm dumbfounded. I really am, guys. And I thought I'd give you my thoughts and opinions on this. Tell me your thoughts down below. Please do. You know, because I would love to hear what you have to say. But anyway, guys, I'm off tonight. I'm going to bed in a bit anyway. But I was busy. That's why I did this one a bit late. So I do apologise. But until next time, catch you guys soon.